One of the biggest struggles that most Amazon sellers go through in the beginning is the product research stage. I've created a flowchart that you can easily refer back to while you're doing your product research. If you don't know who I am, guys, I'm Sharon. I'm an Amazon FBA seller, mentor, I'm a mother, a wife, and an entrepreneur. I created this YouTube channel so I could bring out as much information on Amazon as I can. I decided I'm going to be doing today a giveaway for a 30-minute one-on-one call with me. So if you'd like to know how to win that, make sure you watch this video all the way to the end. We're getting into my computer. Let's get started. All right, guys, so let's start in the beginning of the flowchart. So the very first thing that you need to identify as probably the most important thing is your budget. How much money do you actually have to invest into your Amazon business initially? How much of that is going to go towards your first order? What I mean by that is just because you have, let's say, $10,000 doesn't mean that all of that $10,000 should be going into your first order. Remember, when you are making your first order, you then need to also have enough money for your second order, because your second order is placed before your first order even makes all of its money back. So you need initially enough money for your first order and your second order. You also want to identify what your initial profit goal is. So what I mean by that is be really realistic with the money that you have. How much money can you actually make from that per unit? All right, once we've done that, and I'll probably make a separate video for this because this is a long subject that I could go on for a long time about. So once you've done that, you go to your product research tools. These are the tools that I use for product research. So Helium 10 Chrome extension, which is free. The Helium 10 tools are paid for. There is a code for that in the description of this video. Make sure you use that code when you're buying this. It's going to give you a discount on Helium 10. Google Trends, which is free. Google Patterns, which is also free. All right. So once we have those tools and we've identified our budget, we're going to go into the product research itself. And then I've just given some examples of how you can do product research. So the first one is using Amazon. On Amazon, you can do the rabbit hole method, the best sellers list, newly released best deals, the storefront, and frequently bought with. On Helium 10, you can use Black Box or the frequently bought with from Cerebro or Magnet. YouTube. A lot of people don't know you can use YouTube to find products. You can go on YouTube and search things like Amazon weirdest products or Amazon best-selling products and things like that. And there are actually influencers who create videos when they're opening up new products and things like that, and you can get a lot of ideas from that as well. Pinterest, a lot of people don't think about that. You can use Pinterest to do your product research. You can search things like, I don't know, #1 gifts for men, newborn baby products, different things like that. Just, be creative, use your brain. Etsy, also you can use Etsy, wish.com, alibaba.com, about that. Once you've done that and you think you have identified a product, you now need to qualify it. And that's where the fun stuff begins. So, qualifying a product, the first step is saturation. Is this too saturated? The main way to know that is to identify the main keyword. You can do that by using Cerebro. So you grab the ASIN of one of the best-selling products and then you put that into Cerebro on Helium 10, and by that you'll be able to identify the main keyword. So once you've identified the main keyword, you then want to see, is this specific niche too competitive? And I'm going to make two scenarios. So the first scenario is, if it is too competitive, let's just go to the right a little bit. And the answer to that is yes. Then you want to know, can you possibly qualify a niche? So I've given here an example. Can you find a smaller, less competitive sub-niche within that product's bigger niche? What I mean by that is, let's use the example water bottle. Water bottle, the main keyword water bottle, is extremely saturated. I use this as an example in a PPC video that I made, which you should watch. And I use the example for sloth water bottle, which is a niche within the water bottle niche. So if you can find a niche or a sub-niche, a niche within a niche, then you would go to yes, and then would go to qualify a product. If your answer to that is no, then you would go back over here to the product research. If the answer to that is yes, then you would go to the product qualifying part. All right, and then we start with that. So the first thing we want to qualify is the price point. Is there profits to be made here? I do not sell any product less than $25, but that is me. I know people who sell products for $18, $19 and are still making money. I personally like to see a minimum of $10 profit per unit. If you can make less than $10 profit, but you can actually, sell a lot more units a day, that's also something to take into account. So the first thing is there money to be made profit-wise? And what I mean by that is, firstly, the price point. We'll talk about profits a little bit later, more in depth. The second thing is sales velocity. Are newer sellers actually making money? Is there sales velocity here? You can use the you can use the HELIUM Chrome extension, HELIUM 10 Chrome extension to see the sales velocity. I can usually identify sales velocity just by looking at the BSR. When you've been selling for as long as I have, and you sell in different categories, you already know how to read the best sellers rank quite well. So usually I want to see a BSR of less than 15,000 for people who are newer sellers, which means they are currently selling, then it's not a BSR of 2,000 where they're making a lot, but 15,000 or less is what I would want to see. So sales velocity. Third thing is reviews. Are these people on the first page with smaller reviews still making money? Are there even people with smaller reviews? So when I'm on the main keyword, and let's go with the example of the sloth water bottle. If you were to go to Amazon.com and you would look at, type in sloth water bottle, you'll see that there are people with 100 reviews, 50 reviews, 2 reviews, 10 reviews. There's not many people that have, many products that have thousands of reviews. Now, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't get into a niche that has thousands of reviews. You sometimes can compete against that. Remember that everything is product dependent. This specific flowchart I've made is really just like an outline of what, like a bird's eye view of what the whole process looks like, but this is product dependent, and sometimes you will be able to compete against the bigger listings with the higher review count. I've done it before, and I've dominated a niche, even though the main sellers had 200, 300 reviews and even more, and it's just really product dependent. So review-wise, I want to see that there are people with less reviews still making money. Fourth thing, a lot of people don't talk about this, is the sales history. Is the demand for this product consistent? That could be, is it a seasonal product? Is it a trend product? But in general, I want to see that there's consistency. So the way I will do that is I would look at the products that have been on Amazon the longest within that niche. So let's say if I'm using the sloth water bottle, I'll look at, the number 3, the first, the second, and the third best-selling products that have the most reviews, who've been around for a while for the sloth water bottle. And I want to have a look at when you download the HELIUM 10 Chrome extension, which is free. I'll put a link for that in the description. If you don't have it, you need to download it. And then when you download it, it'll automatically give you a graph on every single product page. And then you can click on all time, and then it's going to show you the history of that specific product's BSR. And if the BSR is consistent, it means like straight or just a little bit up and down, it's okay. It means it's selling all year round. If you see it's selling, it's low and then high and then low and then high, there it's either seasonal. It's like you need to find out what's happened there. It could be that they've gone out of stock and that's why. But if you see consistently, for example, only in Q4 it suddenly goes down and the rest of the year it's up, it means that it's selling only in Q4 and it's a seasonal product. It doesn't mean that you cannot make money from a seasonal product. If you don't follow Brock Johnson, you should. Brock Johnson made $6 million in 6 months from a seasonal product, from a trend product. So, and I know a lot of people that do sell trend products. I don't personally sell seasonal products, but I don't want to rule it out because I know people who have made and do make money from it. But when we're talking about sales history, what I mean by that is consistency, and there's consistent demand for the product. All right, so I just stopped for a second and recorded this and put it into the video because I wanted to make sure that you guys know what the bestseller rank is. So first of all, the Helium 10 bestseller graph is over here when you scroll down on a product page. This is a water bottle example, and I've specifically chose this product to show you a few things. So the bestseller rank, or BSR, the lower the BSR, the more that product is selling per day, units wise. So it's not by revenue, it's by units. Now, what this graph shows us is the red line is the bestsellers rank. Remember, the lower the bestseller rank, the more they're selling. Blue line is the sale price, and the yellow line is the list price. Okay, so this is a product that sells all year round. I wanted you guys to see this because suddenly here the bestseller rank starts to go up, but there is no blue line. So that means that they went out of stock, and that is why their product BSR started to go up quite a bit. And then you can see when they came back in stock, the BSR was down again. They went out of stock again. It went up, etc. And every time the BSR has gone up, it's when they've been out of stock. But when they are in stock, they do sell consistently. Okay, so that is a consistent product. And then here, I've now showing you guys a seasonal product, which is ski glasses. And you can see here that the BSR is high, and then suddenly in the winter time, it goes down. Wintertime in America, it goes down. And then towards the summer, it comes back up because this is a seasonal product that only sells in the winter. So this is an example. This is what the BSR graph looks like. The history of the BSR can tell you a lot about the product. How did the sell price or new price affect it? How has it been affected by different seasons? How has it been affected by being out of stock, etc.? This is a great tool for product research. Number 5, how can I differentiate? How can you differentiate and add value to this product? This is probably one of the most important things when it comes to Amazon. If you're going to get into a niche that, you know, all the products look more or less the same, it's going to be really difficult for you to stand out. Eventually, most, not all, but most products will get into some sort of price war, and there will be, usually it's Chinese sellers that come in and start this price war, and you need to be able to stand out for when that happens and make sure that, you know, you've differentiated enough that even when the copycats come along, and if you're a best-selling product, you will go through this. I've gone through this. I'm going through it now. I go through this all the time where copycats come in and try and make their products or their listing or their images or their packaging very, very, very similar to mine. And, you know, sometimes I may have initially differentiated in one thing, and over time I'll differentiate even more. But differentiation, and I'll make a separate video about differentiation, because people think that that just means to change the design. It doesn't. There's a lot of different ways that you can differentiate. But can you differentiate, and how can you add value? The 6th thing is brand dominant. Is this specific niche dominated by one brand? And there's a few different ways you can see that. The fastest way is when you're on the main keyword for that product, you want to click on the Helium 10 Chrome extension, and where it says brand, you'll see who the brands are. And if you see consistently the same brand, you then need to go in and look at their storefront and also find out, are there, like, the products that they're selling, are they correct or related to that specific keyword? And if they are, and it's dominating, like a specific brand's dominating the specific niche, you need to see whether you can actually compete against them or not. because Amazon's algorithm will favor them and not you, because they have sales velocity and they've got sales history and they're a brand. They don't necessarily have to be a brand registered, but they may have a lot of different listings with a lot of reviews, and Amazon will favor them over you initially. So you have to make sure that if it is brand dominated, can you compete against it? The next one is it patented? Is there a trademark or copyright on the design? And you can do that. You can check that out by going to Google Patents or the USPTO website or the copyright website and check that out. Or you can hire a patent lawyer to do that work for you. It's not that expensive. Number 8, is certification needed for importing or selling this product? And if you're on my Facebook group, I made a post about this, and it's something really, really important. People only think about, can I sell this product on Amazon? Before the product even arrives in Amazon, it needs to go through customs. So can your product actually be imported into America or whatever country you're trying to import the product into? And what sort of certification do you need to sell this product? That is something that you need to find out, and there's different methods to do that. I don't want to make this too long, so I'm not going to get into it here, but Google is definitely an option. Is it gated or is it not allowed to sell on Amazon? And you can find out gated products. I'll put a link for that so that it's easy for you guys to find that for Amazon. Gated categories. And are you allowed to sell on Amazon this product? There's 2 ways of knowing that, and you should do them both. The first one is to create a ghost listing. It's a listing that you put up on Amazon with, just some keywords, keywords that are relevant for the product, just a random image, because you have to have an image to make it active on Amazon. And you let it sit there for 1 or 2 weeks to make sure that it can actually be sold. This doesn't always work. Sometimes you may do this, and then suddenly, a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks after you've actually started selling the product, Amazon will come around and say, hey, we need FDA approval, or whatever it may be. So you also need to send Amazon a message, take an ASIN that is very similar to yours, and ask them, can this product be sold on Amazon? Obviously under my brand. It's not going to be the specific brand. I'm going to sell it under a different brand. Can it be sold? What kind of certifications do I need? I want to make it clear that this doesn't always 100% cover you, and you may need to do further research on this specific subject. All right, so if your answer here is no, then you would have to go back to the product research stage. But if your answer is yes, then you now want to verify the profit possibility for the product. So you're going to estimate the cost of goods per unit. The way you're going to do this is you're going to go to Alibaba. So let's say if you want to sell a sloth water bottle, you would go to Alibaba and you would type in, like funny water bottle or the sloth water bottle, whatever it may be, and you just take the average cost price of that product. Remember, it's not going to include shipping, so you can add $1 or $2. This is very, 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 very much of an estimation. Okay, later we'll get into exact cost of goods. And then you're also going to estimate the FBA fees. So you can do this by using the Helium 10 profitability calculator. And if you download the Helium 10 Chrome extension, then you'll see the profitability calculator. If there is profit to be made, so once you've calculated there, room for desired profit. If yes, excellent. If no, you need to go back to the product research stage. If yes, then we go to here, which is the contact suppliers stage. So the first thing you want to do is get a quote for EXW price. I do not ask for DDP price ever, because I have my own shipping company and freight forwarders that I use. So I only ask for the EXW price. So once I've done that, and there'll be a whole separate video for suppliers because this is a whole different subject. So I've just made this very, very specific instruction. So once you get your quote for the EXW price, you're going to get quotes from 3 or 4 different suppliers, and then you're going to order also samples from those suppliers. You will also order 2 to 3 products from your competitors on Amazon if you can. Meaning if you live outside of America and they don't send it to outside of America, then you can't. But if they do, order 2 to 3 products. Why is this so important? The main reason is because you want to know how the product feels, how it works. What do they add? Some products, some sellers do not show on the product listing certain inserts that they have or bonuses that they have, and you actually have to buy the product to see that. And you want to be able to make your product better than your competitors. So that is one of the things I do. Yes, it costs money to do, but starting a business costs money. This is the best way to identify how you can be better than your competitors and how you can actually differentiate. So the next one is changes to the product. So after you've ordered samples from your suppliers and from your competitors, you will see what kind of changes you need to make to the product, different specifications, quality, packaging, material, etc. And then once you have a final decision, you're not going to order yet, but you will ask the supplier to give you the estimated weight and dimensions of each carton, how many cartons for the product, so that you can ask your freight forwarder for a quote. And I'll make a separate video about freight forwarders and shipping because that is something really, really important to speak about. So I use a shipping company called Unicargo. I'll put a link to their website below. What you want to do is you want to ask them for a quote for the relevant methods. So that's either Air Express, Air Standard, Sea Express, Sea Standard, or all of them if you would like a quote for all of them. And make sure you ask them for a DDP price, including duties paid. Some of you are going to say DDP means in duties paid, but a lot of people don't actually understand that DDP is when you're doing it through shipping through your supplier, and it's not actually used. This terminology is for Incoterms and not used for freight forwarders. But ask them for a DDP price, including duties paid. Once you have that, you will then be able to know what the actual product profitability is. So your final desired sales price. So let's say if you know that you're eventually going to sell this product for $29.95, you may need to in the first month sell it for $22.95, but eventually you're going to sell it for $29.95. So the way to know what your final product profitability is to take your final price, so let's say if that's $29.95, minus your cost of goods, so that's the product, the packaging, the insert, shipping cost, FBA fees, and also leave room for PPC. And then you're going to get your final desired profit. You need to find out whether that is good enough for you or not. You always want to leave a few dollars, like $1 or $2 plus minus, because it's really difficult to estimate PPC cost initially, and you want to be able to also leave room for that. Yeah. So if not, it'll take me back to the product research stage, but if yes, then that will take us to congratulations, you have found your product. Now you can start actually at the sourcing stage. You can finalize your order, your design, your logo, your design logo, your design packaging, your graphics, etc. And good luck. This flow chart, if I just minimize that so you can see it, how it actually looks. It may look complicated, but I think it looks like it's very, very easy, guys. It's not very, very easy. It is a process that you have to go through. I don't want to sugarcoat it, okay? It's not the simple part. It's probably one of the hardest parts. It's one of the hardest parts when you go through your product research, when you go through your FBA journey. But once you get past this stage, that's when the money starts and when the fun begins. So anyway, guys, I hope that you enjoyed this. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you would like the PDF file from the video, then please join my Facebook group, Amazon FBA Alphas. There'll be a link for that in the description of this video. Now, if you would like to win a one-on-one coaching call with me, this is what you need to do. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, and comment on this video. anything to do with product research or any question on FBA in general, and hashtag Amazon FBA product research. All right, guys, thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.